Wow, what a question. And it just really shows us what huge responsibility we have becoming parents. I just wish of two things: that when I was a younger father with young children, I was more self-aware, and secondly, that I was wiser. But I don't think you can acquire wisdom just because you want it. It does take time, but hopefully we'll learn from it. And so, for responsibility, it's massive for fathers. And my personal beliefs would be that the father is also the spiritual head of the family, so he assumes that responsibility if there is a father and a mother in that relationship, which in itself is enormous. But just being there for children, being there for your son, and I talk about sons, but the daughter relationship just as important, because they're looking to you for hope, for security, for a future, for provision, for protection. And hopefully you are their hero, you're their superhero when they're growing up, until they become teenagers. But yeah, if you've been truly blessed, that won't be such a rocky road either. But still, it's really to be there for them and take that responsibility seriously, because you can just look around and see what's happening. Communities have been breaking down, they are breaking down, families, units are breaking down, they're under attack. And the role of a responsible parent is so much more important. And if you are the patriarch, that is your role, to ensure that you actually raise your children, give them the best possible chances possible. So that's the first one I'd say: responsibility. We need to take responsibility. And there are lots of men, I believe, they haven't. They don't even know their children, which is really a sad thing. And they don't want to commit to certain things. That's their story, but that's what leading to the decadence in society. And we can fix it. It starts in the home. It starts in the home. The second thing is, what rules do you play by? And there again, I wish I knew this when I was a young parent. And I got this from John Wooden, the famous basketball coach in America. He was legendary in the Hall of Fame, and listening to him and just what his philosophy was about with his players especially. And he said three things. Always try and be the best that you can be. Don't try and be better than anyone else. And that really hit me between the eyes. What do you mean, don't try and be? No, you can only be the best that you can be. Don't try and be better than anyone else. If you can only be the best that you can be, how can you get better to beat someone else? It's crazy, because there's always going to be 1 and 2. And maybe today you're 2, but tomorrow you could be 1. Because you can only be true to yourself by asking yourself that question. And I mention this because we so often put pressure on our little ones. And I used to watch rugby, and my son playing rugby and my daughter playing hockey or whatever. And the one day, I just heard this poor little boy in exasperation turning to his father on the sideline and saying, "Dad, I'm trying my best." Because the father was just letting him have it, and obviously it wasn't good enough for the father. Shame, I felt so sorry for this little poor boy. Anyway, so that's what happens. Our expectations we put onto them. The second one is always be open to learning from other people. And I think that is critical. Always be open to learning from others. And that's John Wooden. This is his advice, not mine. And his third one was, never cease putting in the effort required to become the best that you can be. And he said, never. And that's, even folk as we grow older, keep on learning, keep on growing to become the best that you can be. Because we don't know. Sometimes we think we're trying hard, but we just don't know. So those are 3 little bits of advice from John Wooden, which I think every single parent should reflect on. And hopefully it'll help them in their approach to children, because of the competitive nature of what's going on and how they like their children to be, and kind of perhaps maybe what sports they should play. I was gutted when my son said, "I'm not going to play cricket anymore," because I used to play cricket. Really gutted at a young age. I said, "No, you can't do that." And he said, "Dad, I'm bored." "What are you going to do?" "No, he's going to play water polo." So off he went and played water polo. It took me a while to accept that, but thankfully I let him go. It wasn't easy, and I'm so pleased I did, looking back now, because who are we to tell our children what to do based on our desires? As I said, what do we want in the relationship? What do we want from them in the relationship? And what do we want from the relationship itself? What do we want? We want what's best for them, and surely not imposing our needs, wants, and desires, and perhaps even some of our shortfalls that we didn't meet and fulfill during our years, we want them to actually come and close the gap now. It happens all the time. We've seen it over and over again. So really help them identify what their strengths are, where they can fly, where they learn quickest, what excites them, and engage them with that. And you watch them to start to flourish. And then hopefully one day when they get out there and their social media is bombarding their brain with all the different things, you would have embedded a core set of values which they can reflect on and say, okay, I can see what's coming at me, but I have this, and I prefer this way because I believe this is the better way. The book is Relationship Philosophy, and it's on sale now.